Mr. Chairman, I got
Okay, we're
6:30.
live.
You ready to go?
Yes.
All right, it is January 14th, 2026, 6:30 p.m. I hereby call the Scott County Advisory Plan Commission to order. If we could, let's introduce ourselves. Again, let's start at that far end.
And when you talk, you have to talk right into the microphone. My name's Stacy Turner. I'm the executive director.
Andrew Boswell.
Matt Overlease.
Randy Julian.
Mark Gardner.
Jonathan White.
J.R. Ward.
Tom Springston.
John Hauser.
Gary Green. Got some new people with us today. Are we completely full now? We all there? JR, you new?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Like I always said, you come in the first one, it's on you. You come to the second one, you must like it. Again, we have some minutes being passed around. We'll adopt them later on in the meeting. When it reaches the end, if you could hand it back out this way so I can deal with it. I appreciate that. Under new business, we have election of officers for 2026. Stacy, again, what are their positions?
President and vice president, and filling that vacant seat that Mr. Ward is now occupying.
What's that?
Filling the vacant seat at the council appointment seat.
Okay. I'll take a motion to, as far as the president, take a motion.
I'd make a motion for Gary Green to be president.
I'll second that.
I have a motion, a second.
Who's second?
I was second.
Randy.
All those-
Make a motion to close nominations.
What's that?
Make a motion to close those president nominations.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Tom. I have a motion to close them. I have a second. All those in favor of closing nominations?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Again, I'll take that. All in favor of the nomination, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. We also have Vice President.
I nominate John Hauser.
What was that?
Like to nominate John Hauser as vice president.
Floor is open for nominations.
I'll nominate Randy Julian.
We have two nominations.
Anybody else?
I'd second Randy Julian.
All right.
I'll second John Hauser.
I have a second for John. I have a second for Randy. Do I have any further nominations? Okay.
Hearing none, I'll motion to close those nominations.
Thank you. I have a motion to close the nominations.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Do we need to hear from these two, whether they would or wouldn't want to have it?
So as we already said,
I think they're both very well qualified.
anyone wish to withdraw their name? Can't do that.
I'll withdraw.
All right, we're gonna take them one at a time. Let's do a roll call now. We'll take John first. I'm on a little shaky ground here. So we're gonna take John first, and then we'll take Randy and whoever gets the
Did
most
you
yes
withdraw?
votes.
I withdraw.
Randy withdrew.
What's that?
Randy withdrew.
Okay, when Randy withdrew, John, that leaves you. You're willing to accept the nomination?
Yes.
We have one nominee is John Hauser for vice president. All those in favor of him signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? John's vice president for the 2026 year. Stacy, kind of lead us through the next few on the agenda, if you will.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about this. There is a property on Ox Road, Big Ox Road, that is a Mr. Riley Riley Neese is living in a double wide, or living in a camper, and has been for a long time. I guess this has been an issue or an item in front of this board before, possibly. And now we have neighbors that are really complaining because it's been so long. Since I've taken the interim position, there has not been a permit issued. So I would say that if there was ever a permit, then the 1-year expiration has expired.
Stacy, I gotta pick your brain a little bit if you don't mind. Do we have two people living on the same property?
We're unsure who all lives there,
But they all would reside in the camper.
as far as we can tell.
We did some things on Ox Road a few years back, but I don't recall.
And Ben might have a little more information, I'm not sure.
Ben, you got any more insight?
You'll have to, sorry.
That is a situation with that particular family that's been going on probably for 10 or 15 years. It's near my home, so I'm familiar with it. Not any attempt to keep things clean, organized. This is, if you drove by it, it's an eyesore. So it's probably been generations on that piece of property under the same circumstances. That's what I know of that.
How long have they been living out there in a camper?
That I'm not sure. I think off and on probably for a good 10 years, and then it'll be vacant for a while, and then there'll be somebody back in a camper.
Well, back in the summer, there was just two old trailers out there. Randy, that's the place out there that y'all had all the trouble with.
Yeah.
And there was nobody living out there then.
And I'm not privy to anybody staying there now. I've personally not seen anybody in the camper or anything. I just know a little bit of history of the property. Now, whether somebody's staying out there now, I don't know. So,
Well, there wasn't even a camper out there back in the summer.
yeah, I did. We had a project out there and did a C of O on that property late this fall, and there wasn't nobody living there then because I was out there quite a bit. So, but there is a lot of debris, garbage, and just run down. But as far as this past fall, to my knowledge, nobody was living there.
Is it two single wide trailers still there? Or no?
I didn't pay that much attention
Yeah,
to
I didn't
it,
either.
Randy, didn't they tear one of them out there?
I believe they were supposed to. I'm not sure. And I have not been by the property. What is the address of the property? Does anybody?
What's the address?
Yes.
It is 3111 South Big Ox Road, Scottsburg.
3111
Mhm.
South Ox Road.
Big Ox Road.
Big Ox Road.
Then is that the property right on the corner that runs into?
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Randy, do you know if they ever satisfied what they were trying to do with the connection?
No, they have not.
He's in Lexington, Johnson.
It's in Finley. Finley. It's right on the corner of Leota Road.
Yeah, Leo and Big Ox.
Okay.
Hand me those stickers, sorry.
I don't know
Get
what
that off of you, so you guys can tell a little more about it.
So Stacy, just again, what is the ask of what are we asking to do?
I've had a commissioner, that's been approached by several, neighbors.
Mhm.
And it did go on tax sale in 2025, and it was redeemed by this property owner. So it was sold, and a neighbor bought it, and then before the year was up, this current property owner redeemed it. So now they want the area cleaned up, and if they do have a permit, which we assume if they do, it has expired. So they are requesting an ordinance violation or some kind of, whatever. They're really wanting to know the next step, their next step.
Well, it sounds to me like number one, we don't know if we have a violation or not. So I think the first thing we need to do is establish whether someone has a residence there. Now, that gets a little gray in my mind, because I might only be spending a couple of nights a week, for whatever reason. If that's a residence or not a residence. The other part of that is, and I'm kind of looking at our health and safety folks, in my mind, if the place is inhabitable, then they're remiss in some of their certificates. But if the place cannot be dwelled in, then needs to be remaining vacant.
And I do believe that their second question is, I guess their first question would be, is someone residing there or are they going to build? And then two, is there some step they can take to have the property owner clean up the property?
Yeah. And I'm kind of like with Gary, isn't that generally
Is that the health
the
department?
health department?
Okay.
And Tim to go out and make that inspection and send their letters of violation?
Okay.
I believe that would be the next step, is to have the health department go by and I think we need to establish whether or not, what they are doing for sewage, for one thing, water and sewage.
Reach out and see what the new owner's intent for the property is.
Well, I think you said the former owners bought it back, but they reclaimed it.
I'll speak amongst the board. Maybe I lied, but we've talked
Go ahead.
about this.
Talking.
I'll speak to the rest of the board and get thoughts on it. We've talked about this in the past. This is, to me, it's a real delicate thing. If those people own that property and the best that they can do is a camper, we don't want campers in this county, but then we get to the cutting point. Are we in the business of making someone homeless if that's all they have? I mean, and I think we need to talk about that and see how we're going to handle that, because we're going to come up on that. I mean, if that is all they have, we may make them, we're making them homeless.
Well, I think we've got to take a bite we gotta figure out,
What the proper step is.
does it have a acceptable sewer? Is it safe electricity wise? Is it wired properly? And then once we establish that, then I think we need to get the homeowner's intent. If it's to stay there until no date noted, then we're back to where John's talking about. If they say no, then you come in, you fill out a special use, we let you live there until October, and then after that, we got a problem.
But at some point, we may need to put in some kind of cleanliness orders where they have to take debris and rubbish away from any living structure and anything like that. I mean, insurance companies are requiring that now. You can't let stuff grow up to your house. Like I said, if someone is at the end of the rope, it doesn't cost much to get out there with a hatchet and something to knock the grass and weeds down, if that is the thing, and get rid of some trash. But like I said, it's something several guys ain't on this board. We've talked about it before. We need to kind of come up with something. I don't know what that is.
I think we'll begin with health and safety folks.
Okay,
Then we bring that back to the next meeting,
okay.
see what they have to say about it, and then see what we got.
I would agree with that. There's a lot of issues right now that the health department needs to address before
Right.
it comes to this board.
So, all right, sign that, John. All right. Discussion of zoning 7205. What we got there, where's that at?
Okay, this is of the property that is
We adopted it today.
right behind the Dollar General on Leota Road. The property owner is Jam Constructors. It right now is currently zoned B2, which is general business. And he wants it zoned R2 for a duplex. His thoughts were he would just come in front of the BZA for a use, different use variance, because it's a step down instead of a step up he wouldn't rezone it. I don't necessarily know if that's correct though. Carmen was thinking that I did ask her and she thought it should be rezoned. I don't know your thoughts. I
Well-
need to know which board to put him in front of, I guess is my question.
It's always been my understanding that in this particular case,
And this is it. There's also there's a flood plain on the back side of the property.
And apologize, Stacy, I missed where is this that you said?
It's the property right behind the Dollar General store on Leota Road,
Okay, gotcha.
on 31 and Leota.
Question, is that within the city's 2-mile fringe?
No.
No? Okay.
in my mind, that will need to be rezoned. And it'll need to be come in front of this board.
Okay,
The reason being, if it went in front of the BZA, we could give them some type of special use variance or some type of conditional use variance. They could build apartments, but they couldn't sell them.
well, and I don't remember what does it say it's currently zoned at?
B2.
B2. It's B2. So would that be that wouldn't even be the zoning for an apartment building, would it?
Might be small business.
I don't have the ordinance in front of them. Sometimes those,
Crossover, or,
right.
okay,
sometimes some of them will say all of one and this.
Okay.
And it's B2 now, business 2?
Yes. And he wants R2 for a duplex. And his thought was it's stepping down in the zoning instead of going up.
Kind of is.
So I didn't know how that worked.
But look at Andrew's handbook, it might cover that in there. B2 might,
Cover the duplex cover of,
it might, I don't know that.
Okay.
You should look at- But I know some of those do cross over. If they're a higher zoning, they can.
On that piece of property right there too, 95% of that piece of property is in the flood zone. There used to be a little house out there right on the road that part shows that it's not in the flood zone. A very tiny space. I've already advised Jam Building that if they do get to the point of building something there, that they have to do 100-foot or 100-year floodplain shoot on that piece of property. Because I personally, from looking at my flood maps, I don't see a duplex fitting there, not in the flood zone. If you go into the flood zone, then we go through the DNR, the state, and the county. And I've advised them of that. And their remarks are always, oh, no, there's enough room. Well, it's got to be proved to the county that there's enough room that's not in the flood zone. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this piece of property.
Are they planning on filling it some?
Originally, they planned on doing duplexes on down into that property. Now they've said, no, we just want one out along the road. It can be built up just like the dollar store was. It can be built up, but it has to go through the state.
That's the state.
So that's just a little tidbit of what's going on with that piece of property. So it's not just rezoning it. There's other things going on with it too.
I appreciate your input, Ben.
It looks to me like it needs to be rezoned from the looks of it.
okay. So put it in front of APC, have them fill out the,
Well, they're gonna have to come in and get an application,
right,
Yeah, there's
Do all that.
regional
Right.
ask for it to be rezoned. Imagine the APC is gonna want to see paperwork associated with floodplain, all of the clearance from DNR and the health department.
This is Dollar General. And Ben, is there there's a natural drain there. Is there a culvert that goes under the highway road there? I can't remember.
That I'm not sure of. One of the things I advised them on is a lot of what the DNR looks at is if you do build up above the floodplain, are you changing the flow of the water? Are you harming someone
I
else
think this is
down the road and stuff? So
drainage.
I don't think there's a culvert there. I don't recall seeing one.
No, this definitely is.
I think this runs back into it.
Then there was a business there at one time, a concrete business.
Yeah, that was
And-
Doug and Linda Reams. That was their
Yeah,
house.
and
they had
that I can tell you for sure was in the floodplain. Now, what permitting was done was well before my time, but it was not built up to flood standards. I can tell you that because I had been at that business before personally,
Right.
before the job. So I don't think there's any grandfathered in or anything because of that.
So the property, I'm not real clear, is it taking in the trailer that's next to?
No, that's not part of the
Okay.
property
All
at
right,
all.
it's just the, where Doug and Linda's old house was at?
Yeah, it's a long strip that
Yes.
runs pretty deep back in there.
There's the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll need to begin the rezoning process.
Okay.
That'll come before the APC. And, like I said, we're gonna have to guarantee some things too.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to guarantee some things also.
Okay.
Any further discussion on that zoning?
This is a current fee schedule.
Review and revise fee schedules. Review and revise ordinances with subtitles to structures, easement, solar, splits per parcel. What?
Ben's here about the fee schedule. You all wanted to talk to him about his inspections per build.
Okay, and I guess you guys are wanting to know how much time I spend per inspection, per project. And what I brought is a couple of more common. A house that's going to be built out on Frog Pond Road and a barn that's going to be on Frog Pond Farm. That's pretty much the middle of the county, kind of 10 miles outside of town and stuff. So what I'm going to show you here, tell you here, is how many inspections I do and what the building commission charges for that number of inspections, what the dollar amount is. And for instance, on the house, this is a $200,000 house, according to the paperwork. And I do approximately 4 to 5 inspections on a house. It can vary. If it's a slab house, I do an extra inspection because it's in-ground plumbing under the concrete. So that's an extra trip. Usually I do all the mechanicals at once. And so if you got a basement, you got a slab house, you go up to maybe 6 inspections. So they can vary quite a bit of difference between this a regular foundation house that I can do all mechanicals at one time and be done with it. If it's a slab or a basement, that's an extra inspection. That's an extra trip out there. And for instance, this house here, the part that the building commission takes in for that permit, it ain't the whole permit, but the building commission for that 5 to 6 inspections is only $70. So for me to run out 10 miles each direction and come back, you're charging $10
Well,
an inspection.
oh, that's true. Yes.
And with the area plan, always takes in more money than what the building commission does on our permits. And that's probably not right because the county's paying for gas, my time, multiple trips. If I'm out in Leote doing an inspection and I got another inspection out on the backside of Hardy Lake, I'm driving 40 miles.
What's our fee now?
Well, like on that house particular, I don't have a breakdown.
220.
Yeah, the area plan was 220, but on my end was only $70 for 6 inspections. And that's probably just way too light when you figure up vehicle, gas, time. And we're not in the city, so I'm not 5 minutes away on every inspection. So like yesterday, I drove 3/8 of a tank out yesterday because I had inspections on each end of the county at the same time. So there's a lot of times I'm in the vehicle for 30 minutes in between inspections.
So the area plan collects 220.
Yep, and my part for the building commission was 70
Okay.
for 6 inspections.
70 out of that 220 or
No,
70 above?
plus the
So-
220.
So it's 290
For-
someone's paying to build that house.
Yeah,
how is the money distributed? Does the area plan money go to Ben's salary, your
No, the
salary?
building commission part goes to Ben's budget, and the APC portion goes to area plan budget.
Okay, what's paid for out of the area plan budget?
The entire budget, or where does,
Who works for the area plan?
at the moment, me.
Okay.
But this is week 2, so I don't know a whole lot about the budget yet.
My understanding before the previous years, what we brought in barely covered my budget, my salary, not my budget.
Right.
So area plan and basically everything other than my salary. The permits did not bring the money in to pay the rest of that.
The permits that I took in from September to December was about 18,000.
From
I don't
when?
have that paper in front of me, but
And that pays,
I'm requesting a part-time, so it'd be my salary, a part-time salary, and Ben's salary.
Is the permit fee the same regardless, like you mentioned, the
No,
$200,000?
I have
house?
the fee schedule now, we can pass down. It's per project, so a barn is a different, garage is different, swimming pool, a sign, carport.
Like buildings is by the square foot.
okay,
So the bigger the house,
I guess save us some time because we don't know. Are there things down that list where you go, this fee is out? For what I have to do, this fee is
Oh, I'm sorry.
ridiculous. I need,
I've
either way, if something's
Yeah,
too high or
I've
too.
thought ever since I've been here, our fees for new construction are way too low. They're way too low for what's involved to get them certified and all that. One of the things I thought is way too high is demolition. I mean, we'll have some $500 and $600 demolition permits for an old house that's about ready to fall down. And they're the very few, and they're extraordinarily high. What we deal on a daily basis is very low permits. So in my mind, the demolition that we're trying to get stuff cleaned up, trying to encourage people to eliminate some of these hazards and eyesores in the county, they're paying more for that than somebody building a $400,000 brand new house. So them's the two major things that's been on my mind.
I'm gonna ask, will you help us out and go down that fee list and make recommendations of what you think they ought to be? Because you're the one doing them.
Yeah,
We don't know.
I think
And let
what,
us look at them and see if that makes sense to us, but
I think
I'd rather
this-
have the department head do it.
Yeah, I think the simplest thing is to figure out how many inspections for this and that and make it where it's not $10 for an inspection. So maybe there's a way to say, okay, if I'm going out 6 times on a house, it ought to be $30 a trip out there, and then try to equate that into the formula to the price sheet. But, you know, when I go do an inspection on a 1,400 square foot house versus a 4,000 square foot house, my time's more involved on that bigger house.
Would you take a little bit of time and look at that fee schedule and see where you see the glaring problems are and maybe make a recommendation to us?
Yeah, I can
That
do
we could
that. I
come to the
mean,
next meeting
and I almost feel like you got to have 2 or 3 criteria between square footage. It'd be this fee on a 1,600 square foot house and less. This fee on a 1,600 square foot house to 3,000 or just above 2,000 square feet or something like that, because there's more time and energy involved in doing that.
Those are things we don't know. We can guess at looking at them, but you do.
Yeah.
If you just go to get one of them lists and go down and make your notations of what you think it should be, compared to the time that or the number of trips and the time you're doing it. And you brought up a good point. I hadn't thought our demolition fee might be out of whack because do you have to even go there once?
One time.
One time.
Yeah.
And above ground pools.
And we
Yeah.
actually, if things are at the point of demolition, we want them demoed and gone. We don't really want to add too much.
Yeah. You don't want to discourage people from lighting a match to something.
Right.
Or whatever in the middle of the night and things like that. And somebody comes in and wants to knock an old barn down and you tell them it's going to cost them $500. They're already got the expense of knocking it down and getting it cleaned up. Well, guess what? It's probably just going to stand there a little longer.
Like I said, I'd love for you to go down that fee schedule. You've been in the job long enough. You probably ran into all these and
Yeah.
kind of know what it entails and maybe give us some guidance on where you think it should be.
Ben, you mentioned new construction. Remodels is the same type of issue.
Yeah. And I mean, when you're looking at remodels and stuff, you got to kind of look a little harder sometimes because they're adding on and they're connecting from something you can't see. So, but I think if we kind of work in a scheme of square footage, is we need two different tiers. I mean, we need to have, there's some houses I can go out and do a mechanical inspection in 20 minutes. There's other houses I'm there a couple hours because it's just so much more to be looking at and double checking and stuff. So the straight fee, I'm sure back years ago when there was very few houses built over 2,000 square feet was okay. We got $2 million projects going right now. One of them's 10,000 square feet.
Yeah, like I said,
There's a big difference between going to a 10,000 square foot house and a 1,400 square foot house on a slab.
Right.
So,
if you could come up with whatever you think is the best way for us to do that fairly,
yeah,
that the people that are using your services more get charged for it, but the people that aren't using your
Right.
services as much get charged a reasonable rate.
yeah,
And the third part of that is we want an adequate inspection.
yeah.
And you're doing that.
Well, yeah, that happens no matter what. It doesn't
It's
concern me.
just-
It's the,
And
My
an adequate inspection, I don't know how to say it, is to do it right, and it costs.
yeah, and that's happening. It's not justifying the end result as far as bringing money in to take it off the taxpayer's burden. You know, it's the person building the house that ought to be burdened most of my fee, not the general public. So,
Well, Ben, John tried, anything that we do is going to be a guess.
right.
So if we can get, and I don't know if we need to have a work meeting so we just sit down and talk about these fees and schedules. We did that a little bit a couple of years ago, but we doubled this, and did that, and kind of did what everybody else was doing. But in this particular case, it'd be hard to duplicate what they're doing in another county
Yeah,
because of the mileage you got to drive, the locations of the cities, the towns.
yeah. Even some of your bigger counties and stuff, they got multiple inspectors and
Right.
stuff. So it ain't on one person to have to travel from one end of the county to the other. And, I changed my phone to my cell phone months after I first started 6 years ago because you get back to the office, you got 4 messages, and you just left that area.
Right.
So I switched to my cell phone because it just made sense that if I get a call and I'm a mile away from inspection, instead of driving 20 miles in the time. So, you know, I just have to travel a lot. You know, I'm on the road a lot, so.
And one more thing, if we could, and I'm not gonna put the pressure on you, but I am, okay? I'd rather do this sooner than later,
Yeah,
and I'd rather have you in person at that meeting. You know, you could send a list of, hey, this cost, but that I don't think gives us the information that we need. Not that we're gonna grill you, but it's just like, okay. Because, you know, the idea that I would have sat here 100 years, I knew full well that there's pipes in that wall. It's connected to a new wall, but I wouldn't have made the connection on the inspection. So
yeah.
I think that's important to know. So
If you can get that to Stacy before the next meeting, what you're wanting to change into this to, and maybe she can email it to the people, we can look at it. If anybody has any questions, they'd be ready that night. And if they don't have many questions, or we can talk about it then, we might be able to get this in a next meeting,
Good. Yeah, I can sit down and
or
look at it.
at least 2 meetings.
now, will this have to be advertised? Will we have to go through the process, Randy?
If you're gonna change fees, I would say yes.
Okay.
So I'll make sure, we'll have to have it 14 days out from the next meeting to have it in the paper.
Okay.
So
Do you have to list the specific fees or what you're changing, or just
I
the
think
general?
that we're just changing, now, I might ask Randy and JR for sure, but if we're just changing the permit fee schedule, maybe that's all I'd need to put. I'm not sure on that part.
Do you fall under that new DLGF requirement?
I don't believe so. I've not been told that.
Can't put that on there, so you
Because
still have to
right now,
advertise in
our-
the paper.
Right now, our meetings, I just email Kurt the meeting schedule, the agenda, and it's not printed in the paper.
Gotcha.
I just have to notify him.
Because, I mean, if you have a meeting on the 11th and you need 14 days, pushing pretty hard, that's gonna put him less than 7 working days to
Yeah,
get that done.
It might be we do the actual changes in March, have February as getting our plans formulated, because we have to advertise and have a hearing.
well, I would think you guys
So-
would want to look at them a little bit before we rush into going into a meeting and ended up tabling it or something like that. Give me time to get it put together, give you all time to look at it.
Well, and then, that would be an ordinance, correct?
Yes.
So that would be an ordinance.
So then it has to go to the commissioners.
So that would go to the commissioners. Okay.
Yes.
We can,
This board
we're
would,
advisory board.
Yeah.
We can make the advisement for the commissioners to raise it to whatever levels we say.
And then after that point, once it becomes an ordinance, then the public would have to be notified that, like, if we changed it in March, the commissioners approved it in April, then is there some kind of a legal notice to the public saying July 1, fees will change, or, a further out date?
I'd say you'd have to go back to the newspaper and probably have them
I don't think
advertise
so.
of
That's
it.
something the commissioner's attorney would
Yeah.
have to tell us. That,
Okay.
yeah, that's why I said quicker the better, because this stuff takes a
It's
few months.
Kind of like what we went through at the landfill, Randy, I'd say, where same type thing. They changed the fees and we notified the, public some 60 days or whatever prior to the new fee going in. But that's generally what.
no, we'll have to put out a notice.
Okay, so are we saying that the February date is just to look over and discuss more on the fees.
It's for us to become what our charges are, you know, the ballpark of how many it takes for this, with the idea that, you know, knowing full well you organize your day, it's going to involve some type of driving. So, you know, when we look at that, say, okay, wait a minute. Kind of get all that digested down. Some recommendations from you, obviously, I'm like you. I'm gonna have to pay $500-600, tear an old hog barn down, and coyotes can sleep in it after.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That somebody can come in here and build $1 million home for $290.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
And I think kind of like, you imagine that one is $290 total is about a 1,400 square foot house. So, you know, you can kind of take that and do the math. If somebody's building a 3,000 square foot house, they're going to be spending $400 or $500 on permits. But
Well, and on the fee schedule, it is per square foot too. There is a fee per square feet.
my personal opinion is if you're building an economical starter home, retirement home, or whatever, it ought to be under one classification as far as fees. If you're building $1 million home, that's going to take 5 times the time of inspecting it, double checking even more, harder to check it, and everything else.
That's what we need you to tell us.
Yeah,
'cause we don't know where
it
that
should be
brings
under
us.
a different fee schedule than your basic residential
I think we
home.
should probably table it until March to give Ben enough time to look at it. Cause it's more than 7 days and be able to bring a fee schedule back that could be reviewed and pushed on to the commissioners.
Sure, to God, you put enough thought into this, it ain't gonna take you a week to put together a schedule.
Yeah. Don't know what the days will bring.
Yeah.
So,
We'll
So
say
do-
this, if you can get it together,
right.
get it to us. If not, it'll have to be the next meeting.
This all goes in half.
Should we have a workshop meeting in February over this and then aim for March?
That's kind of what I'm thinking at. That way I will say it the way I am. It's not open-ended. We're not pushed to get anything else in on the agenda. We concentrate. We've got to get out something to use an example on. That way we can get all on the same page. Because your point's well made. If, you know, my grandparents want to retire and they don't want X, Y, and Z, but somebody wants $1 million house and they want a swim pool, a
Yeah.
hibachi stove and this and that, that's
Yeah.
a whole together different class of things.
Yeah, we don't want to discourage them homes that is probably 90% of the homes in our county.
Right.
You know, so you don't want to punish them, but in the same sense, the more high-end homes that take more time, you want to be justly paid.
But we're taking care of that now on the area plan commission fee sheet, but not on the
Right.
building commission fee
Right.
sheet.
Yeah.
We need to, when we're looking at them, we need to look at them both. Because yours doesn't have any classification for how big a square foot it is, right?
Right.
Only the area plan commission. So we're kind of taking care of ourselves here a little bit.
Yeah, we're on a fee schedule from, I don't know when, way before my 6 year. So, you know,
Yeah, they both need to be looked at together, but we need to realize, I guess we need them both looked at.
yeah. Now, the area plan, you know, I never deal with that part of the fees or anything. I actually don't deal with the building commission fees either. And, you know, Stacy just hands me a pamphlet and off I go.
Right.
So, but I can look at them and look at the fee for the building commission and figure my time and come up with I think a better number. Okay.
And I just comment, Stacy, that it does say area plan, but actually that'll tell you how old it is. Because,
Well, the part that everybody kind of gets hooked on there is my department in the county,
Mhm.
in my budget is
Okay.
the area plan
all
commission.
right, gotcha. And we're just the advisory plan.
You're
commission.
the advisory board for
Gotcha.
that department.
Okay, cool. So that'd be a good thing to clarify, or thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's do you have anything, anybody scheduled for February the 11th?
Any.
Meetings scheduled?
Applicants.
Is that when ours is scheduled?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. What
I
day
have-
do you have
I
it
have the
scheduled in
whole-
February? Anything?
I have the whole year scheduled out, but I
This
don't
one.
have it with me.
This one would be the 11th, right?
I think Randy's asking, have you had any applications?
No, no applications.
Okay.
Well, no, I was asking if we could have a workshop meeting scheduled for February 11th. Would that work for
Does
everybody?
anybody have that email by chance, like on their phone or anything? Because I don't have that
You had it down for every second Wednesday, correct?
right.
6 o'clock
Yes.
BZA and 6:30 for APC.
Okay. Well, that's the second Wednesday.
So it is on the county calendar right now.
So since we're going to be here on the 11th, do we want to schedule the workshop meeting at, say, 6, and then our meeting at 6:30 or 7? Or
Well,
5 and 6?
If
or-
we don't have a BZA application, can I cancel that meeting and we start at 5:30?
You could just open it and close it would be easier than canceling it.
Okay,
Canceling it, you have to do a whole nother notification of canceling and changing the meeting, but if nobody's here, you could open it. If nobody wants to talk, you can open and close without anything.
okay. So could we start this meeting at 5 or 5:30?
I can't. The same nights we do these, I have library board meeting at 5 before this. And like quite often JR is not home until close to 6.
Okay. I did not.
You do it at 6.
Ben, you said that Stacy collects them, but are you familiar with the current fee schedule? Do you look at it much?
Not very often. I mean, back when we was shorthanded, didn't have anybody and stuff, I would try to give people general ideas to let them know once we had somebody what they'd be looking at. But I just know the bottom line.
Yeah.
I just know what's on the permit, what they took in for my duties.
Well, in the scenario you gave with the $290, there's two columns. One's commission, one's area plan, one's building. Is that statutorily, do they have to be a percentage, like one's 70 and one's 220? Or the reason I say that, it doesn't, there's nothing saying it has to be a certain split.
Not as far as I know, because you can take, if you get up around Indianapolis and in that area and stuff, it's not uncommon to have a $3,000 building permit or more. So the counties kind of regulate that
Okay.
themselves, to my knowledge.
And the reason I'm asking that is, as I look at this, there's no consistency between the two, or very little. And I don't want to set either one of your positions and try to explain this to Joe Consumer, because, it's saying square foot. Does that include the attached garage? Does that include the basement square foot? There's a lot of value in simplicity. Is there a way to simplify this? For instance, if that $290 fee today is whatever, let's say that becomes $500. Can we just design a $500 fee that gets split 50-50? So we're not, why do the math twice? Where you've got this fee over here that you're using this tier for, and then this one over here. It would create consistency, and it may make, I can see it simplifying your job quite a bit.
I think because of State Board of Accounts.
Well, I do know that it has to stay separate because we're two separate departments, two separate budgets. But the percent or how it's broke down, I don't think
Yeah,
it
you could
matters.
advertise it one way, but I don't know if State Board of Accounts would allow you to. They might want it clear.
Oh, I see what you mean. We're two different departments, two
Yeah, yeah,
different
but-
budgets, so it would have to be divided. But if you come up with X and we're just taking half of that, like if you come up with $1,000 fee and we're both taking 500, I don't think you have to explain how we got that, do we?
Well, again, State Board of Accounts and how they like to see things, I wouldn't dare say one way or the other. I think that's a State Board of
Okay, well,
Accounts.
let me
question.
rephrase that. These do not match now. This one is $70 fee and this one's $100 plus 8 cents a square foot. Can we make those two consistent?
I'm not sure.
I mean, would that not be simpler from everyone's standpoint? And the reason I'm asking, if Ben's gonna give us a sheet or a recommendation, is it only gonna be half this sheet? Or is it gonna be both sides of the sheet? Because he's doing,
It'll,
yeah, he's impacting both of them. So I guess I'm trying to put myself in Ben's shoes and give him a little context.
Well, the only thing that I'm looking at as far as the building commission part of it is my time. So I don't really know if area plan with what Stacy's doing, if that number's right now for her time involved in doing a permit or anything. So if I put an input in, my input's only going to be on the building commission part, the building part, because as far as the office part, I would be ill-advised to be advising more or less either one on that because I have no background with it. So I'm more than willing to look at this building part of it and give you my opinion on it, but not the area plan
but
part.
I don't know how we come up with those numbers.
Matt, I believe what's partially confusing to you is you're looking at two different departments.
Yeah,
Two totally different budgets. When we're doing budgets in the council, that's kind of how that stuff is figured out, is what it takes to run the department. So that's why you have two different fee schedules, because what Ben does has no part in what Stacy does. As, you know, as far as departments, they kind of share a little information and stuff, but their departments run totally separate.
JR, I'm gonna lean
Does that
on
help
you.
you or did I confuse you?
You're the
no,
one
I
funding this
understand what you're
department,
saying,
right?
but this is just,
Are they coming up?
if I went in and sat down with Stacy, I'm gonna have to take it at face value of this is what's gonna cost, because I mean, I'm a relatively educated person, and I can't look at this and do the math and say, oh yeah, this makes sense. Because, I mean, it's just ultra confusing looking at the way it is. And like I said, if I'm looking at
Say, are they?
a home,
Are they-
like, do you calculate, you know, if it's 2,000 square foot house with a fully
They're
finished
not
basement,
making their
is
own
that
money,
2,000
right?
square foot or is that 4,000?
You have the application. I can show you one of my packets.
And my only comment goal is to try to simplify it. If that's not simplifying it, then just forget it.
I don't know at this point. I just really, I can't.
I think there's the possibility that you could have Stacy's fees, and then you could have Ben's fees, and then you could have a cheat sheet over here that you could say, you know, here it is, this is how it's
Well,
broken
I'll
down.
tell you, this is the packet that the applicant fills out. So I check and make sure they have their ownership, so a copy of their deed. I look at the property, make sure it's not in floodplain, and if it is, where they're gonna build it. And then they'll put square foot. If, like, this person has a house application, a garage, a pavilion application, and a barn application. So they have 3 permits. So on the house, they tell me how many square feet, what it's gonna
For this
be,
size, to
what,
this size, and then Ben has
type of
No,
structure,
this is
what
something
type
more.
of
This is an additional
framing
fee.
and all that. So I
That's a good option.
do my invoice on their information.
Building.
That, at this point is all I can tell you.
So if they have a 2,000 square foot house with a basement, are they
I think
paying
it's
for
a
two?
total, it's a
4,000
total,
square foot.
right.
Because this fee schedule does not say that. So that's all I'm getting at is like if someone wanted to argue or say, well, tell me why I'm paying for that, I don't know that you can look at this and
Well, Carmen has given me a copy of the fee schedule for Scottsburg, but like he said, as far as his part of it, in Scottsburg, you're gonna go maximum 10, 15 miles, where, you know, in the county, you could go 30. So hers is a little more simplified, so we can use it as like, maybe as an example. I don't know. I'm just not been there and long enough to really be able to tell you or help
Do we,
with input.
well, if we want to move this forward and Ben's going to bring numbers back to us, Stacy's going to have to do the same.
I'm
Or we're
throwing
only
it.
moving half the equation forward, correct?
yes, I'm gonna throw this out to the board. Do we want to set more standard fees and then give Ben the option? He goes out and looks at it the first time and says, oh no, this one's gonna take a lot, that he has the option to add fees for trips out there.
Well, like on his fee schedule, it doesn't have a square footage amount, a square footage fee.
It does on some business structures, industrial structures.
Ben, if you had a garage, 2 cars parked in the garage, you'd expect that. But if you had a garage that had a shower and a restroom in it,
It's more inspections.
Or an upper floor,
Yeah,
and all that, it's more expensive.
yeah.
Do we have the standard fee? And then when you go out and look at it and go, okay, this is different, does Ben have the option to say, this is gonna take 4 more trips and those trips are $50 a pop?
At this point, no.
so we
They fill
really,
out the-
Do we want, that's what I'm asking, do we want to do that so that we're charging people kind of fairly, play to pay?
Well, when they're coming to get a building permit, there is no building or anything started. So we're going on their word that this is what they're building. They bring us the site plan, they bring us the building plan. So he has a chance to review that.
Well, but I believe that the issue, I mean, and this is kind of getting into why we need to have a workshop meeting, but
yeah,
I think the issue needs to be, you know, if you have somebody out there building a house and they're trying to get away with stuff and Ben realizes, okay, that I'm going to have to watch these people like a hawk, he needs to be able to increase the fee.
That's what I think.
So if I'm approving a building permit and giving a person the building permit, do I tell them at the time that they're getting their permit, well, this is your beginning balance invoice, but you might be invoiced through the process?
well,
Yeah, I
and I
think you
think
need-
there's gotta be something like that.
Yes.
I don't know what the words are, but if I say, well, I mean, Ben's heard it, I've seen it. I'm gonna build a garage, then about halfway through, I'm gonna plumb that. I'm gonna put a shower in.
Well,
And the
they
original
have-
intent was
They have
that.
to tell me that when they get the packet.
What's that?
They have to tell me that when they fill out the packet.
But I
Well,
imagine a lot of
And
cases.
they have to give me the building plan.
I think that you would explain to them that if there's any deviation in the plan, it will require more visits. And at that point, if there is more visits made, that it'll be
an
added,
additional
it'll be
invoice.
added to their taxes.
Randy, could that be done with just a disclaimer on our building
Yes.
permit?
Yes.
You're subject to change in fees
If
the
it
plans
deviates
change.
from what
If
you
you
give me.
change your original plan.
Yeah.
Which requires more inspections.
And before they get a CFO, they have to pay that fee.
Yeah, there's a lot of counties that charge, if you go out to do an inspection and you fail something, there's an automatic fee for the next time you come back out because you're adding another inspection. Now, this about every county has done that around us. The city's done it. The
I think we
city's,
need to rely on Ben to say this one's bad. I'm gonna spend a lot more time out here. I think we have a standard fee
An a la carte fee.
and then an à la carte fee.
yeah, I think the
I think
city
what-
did a $50. If they come back, they go do an inspection and say they're not ready when they said they was, which happens quite often with me. Yeah, I'm gonna be ready Tuesday at 10. You get out there and there's nobody there and it's not done. They automatically put another $50 charge on them for that
I think
trip.
we should do that.
I think what we need from Ben is his side of that bill, for him to tell us, here's what I think my part, my side of it needs to be. And then Stacy, if it's costing more for her to run her office than what she needs to tell us what she needs. Now, that's what I think we need to do and bring that to us at our next meeting. And
Do you like the idea if Ben runs into something crazy, he can add more fees, or you don't want to do that?
I have no problem with that. But I think Ben needs to say, here's what I need.
Well, if we do that, I think that JR's right. This is the invoice for the permit that you presented. If your plans deviate from this or you add on, it needs to say some kind of disclaimer on the packet that there will be an additional invoice. And then, like you said, if they're not ready or you go back out because they failed it, then there's an additional fee, but that needs to be a disclaimer on the original packet, I believe.
Well, I agree with that. If there's any change orders, that's, I think that's important. For the sake of kind of keeping this going, let's push to February to pull this together. Ben, you kind of got a good idea of what we're talking?
Yeah.
What we need?
Yeah.
Stacy, you got some ideas? Okay. Let me take a second before I forget this. I have a minutes from the November 12th, 2025 Area Plan Commission Advisory Committee in front of me, and I have two modifications. At the top of that, it said Board of Zoning Appeals, and that should have said Area Plan Commission.
Advisory Plan Commission.
And then there's a word contained in here that should have been capitalized. Do I have a motion to approve these as written?
So make that motion with those clarifications.
I'll second that.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion?
Thanks, Ben, for coming.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay. We got the last one on here. We want to move that to the next meeting or get over the hump of the fee schedule, or what we want to do about,
Well, the ordinances are gonna take even longer than the fee schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, that book is what Andrew has with him tonight is, you'll probably have to take that in sections.
okay.
Can we just keep keeping this on the minutes where if we can get to it, or on the agenda where we can
Yeah,
talk about it if we get to it?
yeah.
Let's do this. When we get, whether it's May or June, when we get to the end of the fees, then we can start kind of looking at,
The ordinances maybe per chapter or something, or
Right.
section, or,
and then we can decide as a group whether if easements should be clarified or what should be clarified first or whatever. Is there a moratorium in the county on approving solar?
Don't think so.
Okay,
I do know that there is a tax exemption for solar, but that if a property owner comes in for the tax exemption of solar, that is given to the assessor's office, then the assessor's office assesses that. It will raise their taxes and it kind of balances out.
okay.
So they're not even giving that tax credit at this point.
And that's for personal rather than on farm, correct?
Well,
Either.
I mean, my dad has it on he's a full-time farmer, he has it on his home.
Well, I was talking about a solar farm like we see on 65.
Oh, I see, okay. Now, I don't know about that. Now, home, personal property, because you can only get a tax exemption on your place of residence, primary place of residence.
Any further business, any kind of other comments?
Yeah, real quick. I mean, since we're going to have a workshop meeting, Stacy, if you don't mind to put in the advertisement that we'll do that upstairs
Upstairs
here. Because it's a large table. We can sit across from each other. We can talk, and
Yes.
it's easier.
Yeah, this is kind of rough for me. I
Yeah.
can't hear very well. I got to be looking
Right.
at somebody.
Right.
And I can't tell who motions and seconds.
You can get there,
Through the elevator.
elevator,
Yeah.
good enough.
Yes, President Green, I might say that if we might back up, Stacy noted it, but as far as filling vacant seats, certainly appreciate JR being here now as the county council rep. So we're actually having 9 members, our full board, for the first time forever. But kind of on that note, as y'all probably know, that I'll be retiring. Tomorrow's my official retirement date. What I thought was going to be an easy process, that it was and again, down at the bottom, and I may just say to JR, that the 9-member people that are here, like Randy's the county commissioner, JR is now the county council, Mark Gardner is this county surveyor, and myself as the county agricultural extension educator. Those are the 4 positions that by virtue of your office, you're on this advisory plan commission. And then you'll see the commissioners have all the other appointees. And again, very, very glad that we have a full commission or board now. State statute allows that if there is not a county extension educator actually in that county position, the county extension board of directors get to appoint someone. I had kind of talked to, as actually 5 people total. 2 of them said, thank you very much. We just don't have time right now, kind of thing. And I had reported that to our extension director, our county office director. Trying to make this the Reader's Digest version. But anyway, I thought it was going to be simple for her to send it out here. Who Tom recommends on the board, all in favor and agree and so forth. Well, right after that, then someone else says, well, I would kind of like to be on that. And so now has come down to where the area director has said, technically there should be an application made for whoever would like to be on this advisory plan commission to fill this vacant A&R position. And so I don't think that I was hoping that would have been done by tonight so I could introduce them, but that's not happened. So I'm not sure it will be by the February the 11th, but it should most definitely be by March that there should be an appointee. And I was kind of telling to John that technically the way the law reads, then if you do not have that educator in the position, then again, this extension board appointee can be until someone is appointed. So I'm not sure if this vacant position will be filled or when that would be. But again, this appointee could be serving in that position. So hopefully, may not be at February, but hopefully certainly by March, there will be someone else taking in this slot then, so. But I've appreciated being on here and very much, John and I were talking before, of like Andrew and Rand and Matt coming on and the newer, younger people that have been here. And wish y'all a lot of luck. And with Stacy coming on, I know you got a lot to learn and things, but keeping them all straight and, but anyway, I have quite a good confidence that y'all will carry on and do a lot of good work.
Tom, I want to tell you, thank you for all your years of service to Scott County.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to say the same thing. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, in some of the early days of the board, it was not functioning very well. And quite honestly, Tom recognized that before a lot of us did. Kind of laid some work to make the improvements necessary. And it was not easy. Had held some feet to the fire, and there was some reluctance. Kind of withered that storm, so he made a heck of a lot of improvements back then. So I see that, I remember that. Thank you for your contribution, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service to
Yeah.
the county, Tom.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second.
John.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And Gary, that's 7:46 is what my phone says.
7:46, okay, thank you. I have those minutes, could we pass those down?